Pete'sTools.com.
Hey guys, Pete from Pete's Tools, buying chainsaws and what you need to know about them, what I've learned over the years. Check my video out and tell me what you think. A few people ask me, is it worthwhile buying second-hand ones of these? And I have brought second-hand stuff in the past. These saws here are professional saws, and the people who buy these only normally sell them for one reason, because they've either worn them out or they've had issues with them or they're starting to clap out a bit. You know, 2 years use out of one of these full time, and the thing, it's still good, but it will only be good for use for like a part-time person. You couldn't really do a firewood yard after that. I mean, you get a year and a half, 2 years out of it max. But the price of the smaller saws these days is something like this. This is what I use now for my firewood. I find the big saw is just too heavy. The commercial saw is no good for me anymore. I'm only doing limbs and that sort of things in the firewood, so it's not really an issue for me. This is 33cc, I think. Would I buy this second hand? No, because once again you're having issues with these saws. The cost of this compared to the cost of my big saw that I showed you, there's no comparison. I mean, you can buy one of these saws for about $150 new. Some of them have a 2-year warranty. So why would you pay $90 for a second hand one? Because that's what they cost here, when you can just buy a new one. It doesn't make sense to me. There's still a few people that like buying second hand stuff, which is all good. But like I say, you need to have the saw that you need for the job that you need. Like, I was trying to use this saw here when I finished doing my firewood. Yeah, this is really heavy, this saw. This almost weighs about 3 times as much as this saw. I was trying to use this saw here to prune trees around the yard, and it was just dangerous, absolutely dangerous. You couldn't do it. So I got rid of that. Ended up buying one of these. I think it was about $150. When you're buying second-hand stuff, because these are a 2-stroke, so you got to mix this oil here with your gas at the right proportions. So you got to be sure. But the people that don't really know what's what and are doing these things part-time and buying these saws, you know, from your local hardware shop, they just take it home, and half of them don't even bother putting the bloody putting the 2-stroke oil in. So as soon as you run it for 5 minutes, it's going to bugger the saw. And then it'll still run half-assed, and then they'll put it on eBay or something and sell it. So, you know, you just got to watch. But there are a couple of little tricks you can do to make sure. First thing I'd do, guys, if I was contemplating buying a second-hand saw, before I bought it, I would take the air cleaner out and have a look. So you'll find that on the top of your saw, under your screws. Take your cover off, like so, and here we have the air cleaner. See how it's filthy? Now sometimes you might even find when you're looking at it, it doesn't even have an air cleaner on it. If it doesn't have an air cleaner on it, just don't buy it. Now if there's no air cleaner in, those little bits of dust in that and the air, they'll get sucked in here, they'll go and mix with your fuel, and your piston is up and down here, and your cylinder goes up and down, and then those little bits of grit will wear out the side of your piston ring. You'll lose all the compression, and then your saw won't go. So yeah, this is the first warning. If it hasn't got an air filter on it, do not buy it. Alright, and so we'll take the air filter off. Take the air filter off like that, and as you can see there, it's got a bit of shit on it. It's not too bad though. Some of them are just caked on, they've never been changed in their life, and I wouldn't buy that either. That means that people don't know what the hell they're doing. So also what you need to do is to take the spark plug out like this. Like if you got the original tool, if not, take a little spark plug thing with you. Check the spark plug. That's not too bad. And then what you do, pull the lead down here like that, get it out of the way. And if the people that you're buying the saw off don't let you do this, well, that's just a thing to say, well, I'm not buying it, you know what I mean? So, and then slowly pull the starter like that. Put your thumb or your finger over there. Means it's got compression. If the barrel in here is worn, then you get bugger all compression and it won't run properly, or even if it does run, it won't have enough power to cut your wood, which is not what you want. But a sure sign that something has gone wrong with the saw, they haven't had the right fuel mix in it, is it's got pitting or something on top of the piston. And if you see that, something's got in there and it's bouncing around and it's scoring the inside of your thing, just leave the thing alone. Don't touch it with a barge pole. So now you know what to look for when you're buying a second-hand saw. Just I'd look down the piston hole and spark plug and make sure the air filter has been changed or it's clean, or make sure at least there's an air filter in there. But I'll come back to the big saw now, the big heavy one, and I'll show you the air filter in this, because this is different again from the other one. This is more a commercial saw, so it's made for really easy access, just with the clip buttons here, so you can do it out in the field or the forest or whatever you're doing. And there we go, there's the air filter there. See that? These are just replaceable, but once again this is more a commercial saw, but it all depends what you want to use it for, obviously. But filter cartridge, air filter cartridge, they replace them every month of working really, but I clean it out 4 or 5 times in between time. I mean, when I was working this was thick with crap that was going in there, and all it stops it going into the engine and your piston is the air filter, and that's on any saw at all. See, once again, see, it goes down there, through there, up into the cylinder here. But this is 90cc saw. This is a really heavy saw. Put it back in there like so. Just tighten it up. On like that. Clip them up. And you're away. Yeah, so air filters. The air filters on every saw, but every saw is different the way you do it. And I'll show you the air filter on this little pruning saw, my little 10-inch pruning saw. These are good little saws. You can, like I say, you can go up and down and all sorts with them, and they're not dangerous. Like, you don't use a big saw for a little job because it'll come back and bite you in the ass. This is the air filter on this one here. Just undo them, pull them off like so. There you go. This one here, see? Now this hasn't been changed for a while. See how it's getting all sorts of filth in there? Now I haven't changed this since I brought the saw. I've probably done 6 or 7 hours with it. But once again, these are just little mesh filters. So I need to go and do that before the next pruning season. There's nothing worse than getting out. That's why second-hand saws are the same drama. You buy a second-hand saw, you get it going in the workshop. Oh yeah, that was a cheap bargain, you say to yourself. And then you go out to do your firewood or cut whatever you're doing, and you spend 3/4 of the day trying to start the friggin' saw. It just winds you up. Well, it winds me up anyway. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the saws. But just remember, when you're buying a saw, whether it's new or second hand, make sure you get the oil mixes correct. And also make sure that you get the right oil in the chain lube. Because if you don't put chain lube in chain lube, you use like car motor oil or something, it works, but it's not as sticky. The chain lube oil is really sticky, and it sticks to the chain as it's going around and lubricates everything. Whereas the motor oil, if you put motor oil on there, it just tends to flick off your chain, and you'll wear out, you might think you're saving a little bit of money on the oil, but you'll wear out your bar 10 times as quick. So that's just my thoughts anyway, guys. Hope you liked the video. Subscribe if you like my videos. Just say hi down below.
Pete'sTools.com